Hey Denny, come. Hey, let's go with 4 yards, 4.5 yards, 1B stamp, and send that over to Tommy's house. Yeah, nothing with it, no fiber. Yep, you got the address. Okay, yeah, Tony knows where it's at. Okay, I'll see you at 7. Thanks, Hank. Okay, here we go. Everybody, so this is Matt. We're about halfway set up. The line is run. It hooks together like any other pump hose.
Yeah, same pump hoses.
Just couplings. And this is 3-inch line.
3-inch.
We're pumping a 1B stamp today, so it should,
yeah.
We could have dropped to a 2-inch line. What's the most common mix used in this? Any guess on that?
Really depends on what their end use is. If it's driveways, stuff like that, they're going to run 3/4 mix.
Okay.
But if it's like edging like this or patios, usually they do a blended.
Yeah. Okay. All right, and blend, we go through a 3-inch hose all the time, so that's good.
Yeah.
You want to talk about this machine at all? I started the video last night, but I was afraid to say anything.
No.
But, yeah, I'll let you do the talking on that.
Okay, so it's a skid steer mounted concrete pump. So it can be used on a high flow or low flow machine.
Okay.
It doesn't matter. There's no changing anything if you have either or. Doesn't matter what brand of machine is hooked to it. We just take a 12-volt power. Like today, we've actually got the toggles hooked up to the battery. It's either that or the USB or the cigarette lighter port on the inside. Your machine actually has the USB, so that's why we did toggles to the back.
Okay.
As far as output, the max is 30 yards an hour with that, but you need at least 30 gallons a minute. So for every gallon per minute you give the machine, it's a yard per hour.
And 30 yard max per hour.
And 30 yard max, right. And then if you're going to use the agitator, that takes another 2 gallons a minute. So just remember that if you're running a older machine that has standard flow, you know, for example, if you're doing like a 590 Bobcat, you know, it's only like 16 gallons per minute.
I don't think they can hear you anymore.
If you run an agitator with that, then you're only going to be like 14 because you're taking 2 of that with the agitator.
Okay.
So most of the time you don't need the agitator. There's really no...
That's to shake the concrete through the hopper.
Yeah, it's just a mix inside the hopper. Typically you're only going to use that if you're waiting for a truck in between loads. So. Okay. Fairly simple, quick attach on both sides. So you can put the hopper to either side of the machine. There's just a water box here you fill with water. Just to lubricate the back side of the pistons. So typically you don't open it up all the way. You can just stick your hose in there.
A garden hose, okay.
Yeah. So we want to keep all your fingers.
How many gallons does that take?
Gallon.
1 gallon, okay.
Roughly. I mean, it's not very big. It's only about 6 inches deep, and you only need it to be a few inches in there.
Okay.
So the rest will just splash out.
And then you prime the hopper.
Yep. So when you first start the machine, like right now, the power's hooked up, so you know you got power. E-stop is on. So if you click the e-stop off, then you can go to forward, and it'll automatically start at 10%. If you want remote, you can switch to remote mode, and then your remote will show up. And we have an aircom remote, which I don't have in front of me, but we'll show that.
Okay.
That's pretty simple. It's
so simple on. Even I can do it.
As soon as you start it, it starts at 10%, and that's 10% of its max capacity. That's if you had a high flow machine. So let's say you have a 15 gallons per minute machine that you can do 15 yards an hour max. Once you hit 50% on the flow, that's all the machine's going to do anymore after that, because you're already giving it half.
Say that again?
So if the percentage rate on this or the machine or on the remote, when you look at the flow that you're doing, it goes from 10, 30, 50, 80, and 100. But if you have a standard flow machine that's only
Okay.
15, 20 gallons a minute. 50 to 80% is going to be your max output.
Okay.
Just because you're only giving it half of what it can handle.
So most newer machines are?
Most newer machines, you take...
Are high flow? Or bigger machines?
They're bigger machines, but you can get, like the last several years, if you take like a new Deere, like a 325 or something that's standard flow, it's 27 gallons a minute or something like that.
Okay.
So it's almost to the max on a standard flow. And the high flow is like 40.
I don't know what this machine is.
Okay.
When it comes to the flow rate.
For this, we'll see. I doubt you're going to run it very fast for what we're doing. So.
All right.
Fairly simple. I encourage guys to prime out with just a motor mix for your primer.
Okay.
Because that can go in your form instead of having slick pack or any of the bentonite or anything like that.
Do we want to put anything in the hose?
So when we first start, I kind of go through that as a startup as I go. So when you first start, you take water hose, lift the hose up first. You put a little bit of water through it, in it maybe 3-4 gallons, and then I mix half a bucket of motor mix, and I actually dump that in the pump. And once that's in, then I can connect the hose, and that'll be our prime out. So, and we may actually want to spin you the other way, so the hopper is this way, so the tail is that way.
Okay.
The only reason for that is it makes it easier for the truck to hit the hopper. So, but that's not too big of a deal. You may want to, I may have to disconnect your hoses and have you hook to this side, so the back of the machine is that way. So it stays on the driver.
Okay, just like anything new, we're getting it figured out. Going over best scenario. Wanted to turn this. Now the truck comes straight into the hopper. Hit our lead, heading that way. Now we're going to get a piece of plastic. Let's cover up this machine until, if we get going with this, I want to have a spray bottle of foam release so we can spray this down. I do not want to splatter up the machines nor this unit. So piece of plastic, tarp. Well, Tommy was just YouTubing how to override the hydraulics with nobody in there. We're not having any luck, losing a lot of time, so Chris is going to sit in the machine. I'm sure there's a way to do this.
There is.
And Matt said this, it's only my piece of equipment is different than everybody else's because it works on everybody's. So he's got the prime in the pump. All hooked up. Take it away, Sarah. Hello.
Oh yeah. So right now that's 10% flow.
Okay. Hold on, what's next? Go ahead, pull it back. Just double it.
So what's going to work best is if we slide this all the way out. And as he comes, he can just turn with
You're doing the guy in the machine.
Wait, Pat.
You're doing the guy in the machine.
Yeah. Okay, I got
You ready?
Roll it up.
Alright. Let me know when you want me to pull the hose back. Double man? I'm not up there. I had one job and I blew it.
I shut it off.
Oh, you're good.
Okay.
Up there.
This is what I need to see.
time that's happened.
Okay, so right now pump. This is pump off.
Yep.
Forward, reverse, speed up, slow down. So if you want to start, just hit forward,
Yeah, it's up.
and it'll automatically start at 10%. And if you increase, it'll go 30, 50, 80, and 100.
Take a job.
Mine decrease on the other side.
And decrease on the other side. So
Good, Matt.
Put a ball and some water in there, sucking the concrete back out of this hose we're going to eliminate. Still at 100% in reverse.
and there's always a slight lag when you shut it
I
off
noticed
because
that,
there's
okay.
pressure in the line. It has to release, so you'll see that.
Starting and stopping.
Right.
Good. Yeah, all right.
Can we move the hose back away from that just a little bit, and we'll just keep going with the loop?
You still light, Jim?
I'm good.
Okay.
Pump on?
Pump on. And back.
Then we can turn it off. And then we can
Why
pump
isn't it
reverse.
pumping concrete?
The skid steer isn't running. So you
Oh, God.
turn it off, or you can turn the agitator on.
I'll get concrete.
Yeah, it's concrete under there.
Like you deal with a lot of different pieces of machinery.
Well, I don't deal with concrete, but I think something like that, if dragging a hose seems to be kind of a pain, but
Yeah.
if you had to get concrete behind that house,
Well, it only took me about 5 minutes. And I've thought about this before, but why don't we have little carts with wheels on them and ropes to go underneath the knuckles of that
that would be
hose?
pretty.
And
Yeah.
the guys can just shuffle the carts
Right,
around.
right. But I like all kind of equipment stuff, and it is
Yeah.
neat. And plus, it only takes like 15-gallon hydraulic flow or something
Yeah.
to run it. You could even run that on a mini skid. You know, a little skid loader. 15's not much.
Yeah,
You know.
yeah, 15. Now 30 gets you to max. So we were looking for a little bit faster coming down the straightaway when we got the hose back and
Yeah.
everything squared away. But,
How many yards was that?
4.5.
4.5. What are you doing the rest of the day?
We have to go get a driveway ready, but it might rain, so we're gonna finish prepping and set of steps for tomorrow.
Right.
So
I'm glad you called though. I like 5 minutes from
thought
now,
you'd might
right
like
out,
it, yeah.
check it out. It's pretty cool.
yeah. Now, are you selling them to people like me, or who are you selling them to?
Most of them are the guys like yourself. They're guys that are more remote.
Mhm.
They don't have the ability to get a pump truck when they need it, or a line pump when they need it.
Yeah.
They like the schedule that they can do. They can pump whenever they want. They don't have to wait for somebody as long as they can get the trucks.
And you said this sells for about 55.
55 is what
55,000.
Yeah.
And what does that get you? Does it get you the machine and hose?
Gets you the
no
machine and the
hose?
reducer and no hose.
No hose.
No hose.
What's a 25-foot line cost?
Hose and clamp is about $600.
600 per hose.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
So
when we
figure
were,
out
like
what you
for
need.
example, at the Deco Creek show, we gave 100 feet of hose with the machine.
okay.
So when we're doing shows like that, you can save yourself $2,500.
What size
$3,000.
hoses do you run on that? Like, can you
Three
do a
inch.
2-inch?
You can. We got guys that do 2-inch, 2.5. So it just depends on what they're doing. And
Would that concrete pump through a 2-inch?
yeah,
That'd be
Yeah, because
2-inch hose is way lighter, way easier to use. If this is the work you're doing, is stuff like this, then I would stick to 2 or 2.5.
Well, most of the times we would use this machine would be on a stamp patio in a backyard, which would be our 1D
Yeah.
stamp mix.
Yeah.
So-
The smaller the hose diameter, the more hose kick you get too, though, with the higher volume. So there's
pressure.
more, because there's more pressure trying to go through it, right? But the hose is much easier to move.
Yeah.
But for example, last week we delivered a machine, met a guy that's South Missouri. He's a pump jacker,
Yeah.
right? So he does like raising houses, leveling houses and stuff. And he used his hose to go into the crawl space to pump new footings underneath this basement or crawl space of this house.
Yeah.
6 yards. You know, he was done in
Are you
half
getting
hour,
my
40
future
minutes.
finishers over there in the concrete? Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt
No,
you
that's
there.
fine. I was showing them.
They were just leveling up the log that come out of the hose.
Yeah.
Yeah? Let's see.
Yeah.
Alright, I got it. Alright.
Blue one? Where's the blue one at? Get up and start eating.
Rest one donut? Oh, no. No, thank you. I appreciate it. Trying to watch my physique. Summertime's here. Gotta be ready for next summer. Little lighter.
Whoa,
Okay, as we finish up here, if you want more information on the Mud Demon, you can go to their website. You can call them. You can look at the QR code. Number of ways. All right, thank you very much, Matt. It was a pleasure meeting you, and really thanks for the demonstration here. I think we could use this.
Yeah.
You know,
It's
there's a learning curve
there's a
to
learning
it.
curve, there's no doubt.
Yep.
That's for every. Just so people know, every machine there's a full day of on-site training with it. So we
Good to
will
know.
show up to.
Okay.
Like in 3 weeks, I actually have to go to British Columbia to a gentleman up there that's doing it. So, yeah. So
Okay.
it comes with, it's either myself, there's 2 other guys, or we actually can get somebody else through Schwenk to do it as well.
Okay. I might require a 2-day training process.
Yes.
All right, thanks again, Matt.
Thank you.
Hey everybody, I just wanted to close this video out and say the Mud Demon performed perfectly. It did everything that Matt said it would do. A couple glitches with my machine, didn't have the proper switch, so check on that if you're going to try this unit out. Matt will explain that all to you. You will see that on our job site again. We're going to demo it for about a month and really familiarize ourselves with it. And I think it would be a good purchase. Once we tried it, I started looking at other jobs that we have up and coming as well as bidding. And I think this unit could be a good fit for us. So I'm happy to bring that onto the channel. Let me know your thoughts, give me some feedback, and good luck. Thanks.